Welcome to AMP, the platform for age group multisport athletes to showcase their journeys.
Along to episode 105 of the Age Group Multisport podcast with me, Richard Conway, and thank you once again for joining us on this new episode. Hope you're all well and you've had a great summer racing. It's not over yet, I realise there's still some races to go. It looks like they've had a fantastic time over in Australia at the World Championships. We've had some great success. And if you want to hear all about that, head over to Age Group News, either on Instagram or on Facebook, and read all about it. Some fantastic success there, like I said. Lots of medals and, people doing amazing things. So well done everybody that was over there. Hope you get back safe and continue flourishing in your season to come. There are a few more qualifiers to go for if you want to try and qualify for next season. So if you do, keep training and good luck. For me, it was nice to get back to the track with my team WBC at the weekend and put a nice session in and not feel any adverse effects from the niggles and injuries that I've had in the last 15 months. So it was so nice to be back running again. Love it, and I've really missed it. So that's good, a positive. So we're getting back into some training and maybe have a race or two towards the end of the year. Might even try to qualify, but depends on how the fitness goes and how the training goes. But we've got something penciled in, and we'll see if we can achieve it. Just a quick shout out to our coach, Steve Hunt, who is now out of hospital after having a hip operation. For those of you who don't know, he crashed last weekend at Bassetlaw Tri. He was coming in to transition and hit a speed bump and come off his bike and landed pretty badly, pretty heavily, and he's fractured his hip. So he's back home now. He's had the operation. He's got a plate and bolts put in there, and he's on the mend. So we popped over to see him and take him a few goodies and wish him well on his recovery, and hopefully we'll see him back coaching at the track ASAP. But he's got to just rest and recuperate now. So like I say, it's one of these things that can happen to any of us at any time when we're racing or training. And we've just got to deal with it the best way we can. And he's dealing with it very, very well. He's keeping positive and he's looking forward to the future. So rest up, Steve, heal fast, and we'll see you back at the track soon. And on this episode, we've got a relative newbie. He's only been doing triathlon for over a year, and that's after he'd hung up his hurling boots and decided that enough was enough and it was time to move on and find something else. So we chat about that, chat about how he found triathlon and how he managed to qualify to represent Ireland. Great story, really nice chap, and looking forward to seeing what he can do in his new sport. So hope you enjoy this one. That's coming up. Another great weekend of TV sport. We were watching the Vuelta. That's in its first week. Been a really good week. I'm into cycling and love this Grand Tour as much as the other two. So really been enjoying that. Can't wait to find out how it pans out and who's gonna win it, because it's very much undecided at the moment. There's no clear favourite, that's for sure. Diamond League was back after all the Olympians had done their thing, and seen a couple of races so far, so that's been pretty good to watch. And Sunday saw us watching the Super Tri. It was the second race. This time they're in Chicago, next time they're in London, and it was great to see Georgia Taylor-Brown win out for the ladies. She's back, and she's had a a long road back from injury, but yeah, she's getting fitter and fitter, and yeah, she absolutely bossed this race. She was the aggressor all the way around, and it paid dividends, so that was pretty cool. And in the men's, Hayden Wild finally beat Alex Yee. Alex didn't have a great swim for the first round, and if you get left behind on the swim, it's very difficult to get back on the bike. So yeah, he was struggling all the way around, and Hayden took his opportunity and he won. Yeah, so it was nice to see. And Alex, I'm sure, will bounce back in London in a couple of weeks' time. So looking forward to that one. Not really been listening to many podcasts at the moment, as we've been busy with other things. So like audio books and stuff. So yeah, not got any recommendations for you on this episode, but I'm sure I'll get back into it and we'll find a few that we can recommend for the next one. So, and I think that's about it for now. So let's get into the main event, and I hope you enjoy Rob's story. He's a really great chap, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
Morning, Richard.
Morning, Rob. How are you doing?
Not too bad yourself.
Yeah, all good, all good. Sun's out, birds are singing.
I wish I could say the same here. It's literally just started bucking around here.
Oh, is it? Oh no.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you in Ireland?
Dublin.
Dublin.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Nice.
So,
Right, bang in the city.
no, it'd be closer to the airport.
Right.
So it's not too bad. Like I'm kind of about 10, 15 minutes from the inner city, so it's not too bad.
Nice. Thank you for joining us this morning and agreeing to share your story on the podcast. Much appreciated.
I really appreciate that you taking your time and obviously having me on board as well to kind of share my kind of story. And I know my story anyway, it's only kind of, for me anyway, definitely, it's only kind of beginning, I think. I think me kind of stepping into triathlon is a kind of new kind of scenario for me anyway.
Yeah, well, it's great to have somebody like that is fresh into it. And it'd be good to hear from your background, obviously, in a while. Cool. Right. So welcome along. Like I said, thank you for taking your time out. If you'd just like to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm Rob Dwyer. I'm from Dublin, Ireland. So kind of 35 now and nicely introduced into multisport. I think kind of my kind of general kind of background would generally be, especially coming from Ireland, would be kind of GAA hurling. So I think the age of 4 or 5, I think mum and dad, off I went to the GAA and kind of would have been kind of in that for a long period of time up until, I'd say, about 2 years ago now.
Can you just explain for those uninitiated what hurling is and what it's all about?
Yeah, so hurling, I know it's kind of only been recently kind of introduced over in the UK, kind of in terms of kind of Sky Sports kind of having seen it, but like it's one of the fastest field sport, where we kind of use a ball which we call a sliotar and a stick which we call a hurl, and the objective is either to get it. We use kind of like the only way to kind of describe it is rugby goals. So we've got a goalkeeper, and the objective is obviously trying to get the ball in the back of the net or over the bar, which is an equivalent to 1 point, but the ball in the back of the net is 3 points. So yeah, no, it's a high fast paced game that would kind of, it's, I think even some of the reactions when you guys kind of seen in the UK on Twitter kind of sparked a kind of interesting feel for it, that we were kind of half crazy, half mental. With no kind of protection. The only kind of protection that we've got is what we call a helmet, just to kind of cover our faces, just to kind of protect that.
Yeah. When I came, I've got family over here. My dad was from Ireland, and when I came over a few years back, I took my wife over to show where he came from and stuff. And I got an uncle over in Galway, and I'm not sure what the match was at the time, but we ended up sitting in a pub and watching this game. I think it was a final. Can't remember, but he was well into it. And it was, I'd never seen anything like it. Obviously, I knew about it, but I'd never seen it at that stage and at that level. It was quite impressive, actually. Yeah, it was pretty impressive, and the whole pub was going bonkers.
Yeah, it generally is. It's kind of that day where everyone kind of, especially you being in Galway, Galway would have a good tradition of hurling as well.
Yeah, it was cool to see. So you've only recently, like you said, just got into multisport, triathlon, duathlon. So after you'd hung your hurling stick up, why was that first and foremost? Why did you decide to stop?
I think the main reason was kind of stopping was kind of the youth was kind of coming through, and the legs just felt like they couldn't maintain that kind of pace and give that kind of standard that I wanted to kind of meet. Because I think me as an individual kind of set high expectations. I always want to play at the best. I always want to be the best, and I think it just kind of flowed within the family. I think obviously with like even my cousin at the moment, he's over in the Olympics. He's been boxing for Ireland, so I think kind of just
Right.
it's just kind of instilled within the family that we always want to be the best,
Sure.
whether and we've always been competitive as kids as well within the family. We could have been playing anything, and there could have been all out war if someone lost. So it's
Yeah.
just that kind of competitive nature that I knew that kind of the time had kind of come to kind of hang up the boots. And I think for me, getting into multisport was kind of one of my friends that I used to kind of play hurling with was during COVID. He was kind of at me to kind of come on, join and give up that hurling. And I was kind of like, no, there's plenty of time and whatnot. And I think then when I hung up the boots, I was like, do you know what? I'll try it. And at the time, there was a tie down in a tie. And I was like, do you know what? I'll try that and I'll dip my toes into it and kind of see how I get on. I got, and he kind of gave me a few tips and kind of stuff. And he was like, he'd be just as competitive as I am. So he was like, here, look, it's a rolling start. And me rolling start. I was like, yeah, whatever. Don't know what this is. So he was like, look, just get in last in the water. And he says, all you have to do is chase everyone down in front of you. I says, grand. I says, that's perfect. So get in the water, grand, perfect. Got out of the water, chasing everyone onto the bike. And then I finished the race. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm hooked. I was like, this is me. I'm in this. I was like, this is definitely for me. And then after that, then I came back and I was like, right, I need a new bike. I need new this. And I was like, no. It kind of, my friend was kind of like, here, look, back off. Like, you're only have to do one race. You kind of
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to get yourself.
So going into that race, and like obviously it was an open water, swim by the sounds of it. What training did you do? How long had you given yourself to prepare for that actual first triathlon?
I think I gave myself about 2 weeks because I was kind of fit coming from the GAA perspective. I was like, look, I can run, I can cycle. I was like, in terms of the swimming, I kind of would have grown up as a teenager. Mum would have kind of had us training as a lifeguard. So kind of had that kind of swim background. I was like, look, it's 250 meters and it's not that bad. So I was like, yeah, grand. I'll be kind of confident enough I'll be all right to get out of the water.
Yeah. And how did you find open water swimming for the first
It,
time?
it was actually in a canal, which wasn't too bad.
Oh, right, okay.
So, and to be fair, because it was a try, the current was with us, so it was nearly kind of pushing us down.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Nice. Well, it's a good start, isn't it? Good experience for the first one.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
nice. So what happened after that then? Once you've obviously got the bug, where did you go?
So after that, I kind of got the bug. I think that was kind of June. It was actually on my birthday in June. I was like, mom and dad were kind of going, "You half mad doing this on your birthday." I was like, "Ah, look, it's me." But then after that, then I was kind of looking around and kind of seeing what else was out there. And the next then I seen there was a kind of towards the end of the season there was a race in Wexford, and I kind of signed up for that, and it was an Olympic, and I was like kind of going. Friend was kind of like going, "You're kind of jumping here," so that was grand. I kind of went to that race, and then
What distance was that then, Rob?
the Olympic distance.
Olympic.
So yeah, and I think after the kind of tragedy that kind of happened with Cork Ironman, I think the sea that day wasn't kind of
Yeah,
was kind of okay in terms of kind of, but I think obviously with obviously Cork, in which it happened, they kind of just cancelled the swim,
right.
so it kind of ended up into a bit of a duathlon. So we started off, I think, with a 5K run and then into the bike, and then obviously then the 10K run. So I was kind of delighted with that. I was like, because my swimming would be kind of my weak point, as they would say.
Mm.
And yeah, no, happy enough with that race and kind of finished that race off then. And like that was kind of it for like 2023 was those two races. And then coming into 2024, then kind of Christmas time, I was like, right, I'm really hooked into this. Like I really want to kind of put the head down and kind of really do well. So decided I'd get an indoor trainer, stick the bike on it over the winter. Well, it's nearly winter the whole time here in Ireland. With the rain, I was like, put in a good few hard sessions on that, on Strava and stuff. And then obviously kind of got out and done a bit of running. I was like, kind of forgot about the swimming. I was like, that was fine. Kind of got on then, because obviously coming into the kind of start of the year was kind of the duathlon season.
Sure.
And kind of kicked off the duathlon season with a lot of kind of podium places in the age group. And I think that's obviously when I kind of met Owen and stuff, and kind of met a few other individuals who kind of gave a bit of guidance as well, and kind of what I should be looking at and how I should be kind of training as well, and kind of a few of those tips as well. And I kind of found as well with the triathlon kind of community, or even duathlon or multisport as we would say, it's a very small kind of community within Ireland, and I think everyone within it is kind of very helpful. Like, I think if we kind of improve each other, we're going to improve the sport, and I think that's the way we kind of look at it. Yeah, we're at the, like, as soon as that kind of hooter goes, it's all out racing. But I think after and before, it's literally kind of help each other out to trying to be the best that we can be.
Yeah, I think that transcends into the athletes that are like elite as well, isn't it? You can see them, they all go off, different nationalities all go off in training camps, don't they? You know what I mean? And they all train together, but come race day, that's it. They're against each other. But it's nice to see, isn't it? That ability,
Yeah,
that really. And
yeah,
you
no,
get
it's
so much help and like you said, tips from yeah, who are rivals, but also in a way like teammates, aren't they?
yeah, no, like even though like we are rivals, I think it benefits us as a country, and it benefits us as racers as well, to have everyone at their pinnacle as well, that kind of push everyone on as well. And I think it kind of creates a real competitive kind of environment as well. And I think that's why we kind of get into this multisport, is we are those competitive people who like to compete against each other and push each other as well.
Yeah, 100%. So from the duathlon, was that when you found out about Ireland and the whole representation?
Yeah, exactly. So after the kind of obviously getting a few of those podiums and stuff, and that's when I kind of found out about obviously kind of the qualification, and obviously kind of had my year kind of planned out, and obviously kind of Owen and the guys were kind of heading off for the duathlon season. I kind of like, no, I kind of had a look at the kind of, and I was like, that doesn't really kind of fit into my season. So I kind of looked at what else was out there, and Malaga kind of jumped out at me, which is I think it's the World Championships in October. So that kind of fits in well, because I kind of had my year planned out where Wales was going to be my number one target this year. I
Yeah.
know it's kind of crazy, kind of still kind of have to pinch myself. Like, I'm kind of 8 months kind of realistically into the sport, and I'm kind of like going, right, I want to hit the pinnacle. I want to hit Wales, one of the kind of the toughest ones
Yeah, yeah.
that's out there. But I think that's kind of testament to my kind of myself, that is like, I target the best. I want to be the best as well. Like,
So what time scales are they fitting into then?
yeah, so the kind of obviously the kind of start of the year, I kind of looked at the duathlon season, and I think that kind of ran up to kind of March, April, and then we kind of kicked off into then the triathlon season. Then was kind of done Galway, the Castle Series. I think
Yeah,
you guys would be familiar with that as well. Then their last weekend I done my 70.3 in Tyrone. So, and then September then is going to be Wales, and then October then the World Championships. But
right.
I think kind of August time I'm maybe looking at fitting in another maybe 2 Olympic distance, just to
Right.
kind of keep that pace up as well.
Yeah. So how did
So
you get on at the 70.3 then?
yeah, happy enough. Swim is still kind of my weak point, but I think lucky enough for me, I think obviously kind of through the duathlon season as well, I've kind of been lucky enough to kind of open the eyes of kind of a few individuals that kind of come on board to kind of help out with like kind of like background, and kind of like there's a guy there that owns a coffee container that kind of helps me kind of with kind of sponsorship in terms of kind of nutrition and stuff, and kind of tips as well. Like, he's done Ironmans. Then my local bike store, they've kind of come on board as well, kind of maintain the bike. My local physio that I would have kind of she's come on board as well. And then luckily enough, then one of the guys, then Flow State, he's kind of helped me in terms of my swimming, so he's come on board as well. And then another kind of guy as well that I would have kind of known through the cycling, Callis, they've come on board as well, kind of to help out with kind of clothing and even my race suit. So like, I think the results are kind of helping me kind of maintain and hopefully keep those sponsors on board as well.
Yeah. So you're getting a nice team together around you.
Yeah, I think that's what us kind of age group athletes kind of need, is those small kind of teams where, like, I know everyone just at the end of the day just sees that one individual out on the course, but it's about those little teams in the background where you've kind of got that support network as well.
Yeah.
Because I think even with yourself, you know, like the hours that we put into training, it's lonesome at times where it's just us focusing on being on that turbo, going out for those long runs in the pool. But I think even having that support network where you kind of have other teammates come along, whether it's other people kind of backing you, supporting you, and a lot of these it would be non-financial, so I think it benefits us as well. Like,
yeah. So just going forward to Malaga then, what's the is it duathlon?
No, it's an Olympic distance.
All right, triathlon.
So yeah, triathlon. Yeah, so
yeah.
and I think the aim there would be podium.
You qualify for that then?
So that would have been kind of through the duathlon times, is obviously we can kind of work off some of those, and then a few of the obviously my times as well then within the other races as well. So like we can, within Ireland, we can kind of put ourselves forward as well, and then obviously we're selected as well. So I know a few have kind of been put themselves forward, and a few of us have been selected. So
yeah. And what's the competition like in your age group in Ireland then?
I think I've picked the worst age group. I think
everybody says that.
Yeah, I think everyone says that, but I think 35, 39 is just the most competitive. I think it's everyone kind of gets those midlife crises and has just entered multisport.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just finishing, like you've just said, just finishing one sport, getting into another, you know, around that age, especially like things like soccer, football, and hurling in your case, you get a bit too old, shall we say, for that, and then you want to find something else to continue. So yeah, I can see your point. Yeah, so that'll be cool. But you've got Ironman Wales first before that, and maybe a couple of Olympic distances, like you said.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Wales now. Obviously, I've kind of been watching a few kind of videos and stuff and kind of on Wales, and I think just even the atmosphere within kind of Wales looks like it. It's what I've kind of been looking really forward towards this year, is kind of getting there and enjoying the experience as well.
Your contingency for Malaga, is there a lot of the team going over from Ireland?
To be quite honest, I haven't. This would be obviously my kind of first experience, obviously, with the kind of the Irish team. I don't really know who's going, to be honest. We're not kind of open to that.
Okay.
But we haven't been kind of given that information. The only reason I kind of know who a few individuals that are going is just kind of obviously chatting to those individuals at a few races. So I think it's kind of been left to ourselves to kind of find our own accommodation, flights and stuff like that. So I think when I get to Malaga, I kind of know who's there, but I think it would be kind of nice to know to kind of even be working as a group prior to going to Malaga.
Yeah.
So like I think obviously, which what helped me at the moment is Owen has kind of been giving me a lot of kind of tips and stuff and kind of how things operate and kind of the Ireland perspective. So it's kind of nice to kind of have an individual that's kind of been there before to kind of feed that information back to us.
Yeah, oh, that's invaluable. It really is to have somebody with experience like Owen to guide you basically and give you some instant tips. It's really good, and really good of him to give you that.
Yeah, no.
Done this. Are you coached? Do you have a coach, or is it just literally you're doing it yourself?
So in terms of the swimming side, I've obviously got a coach who's kind of come on board and going to give me a hand. But in terms of kind of the cycling and the running, I'm kind of coaching myself. I think from my background and stuff, kind of being within hurling and stuff, I kind of moved into a few management roles as well. I've kind of learned and kind of got a lot of valuable skills as well from a lot of those S&C coaches and running coaches and stuff. So I kind of been working on that on myself. So it kind of helps as well with kind of working as well, because trying to fit in some of those training, because I know a lot of individuals need a coach because they need to be kind of pushed. Me, I'm just like, as soon as work's finished, where can I go?
Yeah.
Can I get a run in? And it obviously depended on the weather. But I think me kind of working myself and kind of having my plan is, I know my week, I know my day. And if my day kind of changes, I know I can kind of move a few things around to kind of fit that in. I think having that kind of coach for me, that constant kind of communication where kind of, I needed to change this or need to change that. But in saying that, I know a lot of individuals within multisport do like to have the coach, and I kind of, but like we kind of say, look, whatever works for them, whatever gets them results.
Yeah, 100%. So we're all different, and we've all got different lives, haven't we? So yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And I guess it's like you said, it's also about having that knowledge previously and the confidence to take that into a different sport. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So what does a week of training look like for you at the moment then?
A week of training would be kind of start the week off on the Monday and be kind of in the pool early before work. Then the race back home, trying to get through that traffic, trying to get back onto the computer, logged in, and then as soon as kind of 5:30 kind of finishes, then it's either onto the bike or out for a run, and then try and fit in an S&C kind of session as well, or a bit of stretching. And that'd be kind of the kind of Monday to Friday. Then come the weekend, Saturday would be definitely based of a long run, whether it be kind of with a few friends or whether it be just kind of out my own. And then Sunday then is the long cycle.
Yeah. So you're training every day then?
Try to train every day, kind of keep kind of at that kind of zone too, kind of throughout the week,
Yeah.
kind of maintaining that. And I think just building the load nicely coming into kind of Wales.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's like if you're focusing on the long distance now over in Wales, so that's going to be your zone two. So that should stand you in good stead for when you go to Malaga, shouldn't it? Because you'll have that fitness. It'll just be maybe the top end speed that you haven't got. But
Yeah, so like the plan is obviously the week out before Wales is kind of obviously the tamper week, and kind of backing off. But as soon as Wales is kind of finished, it's kind of working on that kind of speed work as such. It's obviously aiming towards Malaga.
yeah,
Obviously the body still obviously the week after Wales, it's still kind of ready to move. But
yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, good luck with all that. I'm sure you'll do really well, and I'm following you on Instagram now. I just clocked you this morning, so and it'll be interesting to see how you get on and progress. So
yeah.
yeah, pretty short, but a really good story. And like you say, you're only just starting the journey, so
Yeah, no, and I think even like, mine's kind of been short and I'm kind of only dipping my toes into it at the moment. But I think hoping that, fingers crossed, and everything kind of goes to plan, that that I can kind of develop this story and kind of hopefully bring it further.
yeah, cool. I'm sure you will. Sure you will. What resources do you use to try and help you? I mean, that could be books, YouTube videos, whatever.
Um, to be honest, I use kind of, my Garmin is kind of my Bible at the moment, and I'm kind of feel lost at the moment. Kind of, it broke down on me
All
last
right.
weekend, so I'm kind of. But yeah, no, I'd use my Garmin. I'd use kind of Training Peaks and Strava. I kind of use a multiple different kind of apps, and kind of just to kind of, I know kind of they vary, but it kind of, I like to kind of look at a few of the numbers, but I don't get drilled down on those numbers, because some of my runs, even when I go for a run, I won't be looking at the watch. I like to kind of go off how I feel.
Yeah.
Because like some days we go for a run and some days you're just kind of like, I just really don't want to be doing this. And then other days you go out and you feel like you'd run all day. So I kind of work off how the body kind of feels, and as well, what kind of obviously track it and Garmin, and just kind of have a record of it.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, we do get sort of engrossed in all this technology that's available, don't we? And we don't look at how we feel sometimes. Well, a lot of the time, I would imagine. So it's good that you can do that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bit of kit?
Favorite bit of kit? Clothing now, or?
Oh, anything, whatever, what can be anything. I've had a stapler for God's sake. No, sorry, it was a hole punch somebody come up with once. Yeah, so it could be absolutely anything.
Um, I think my favorite bit of kit has to be my bike.
Yeah,
I
and
think,
that's the most common answer, the bike.
yeah,
What
I
bike have
think
you got?
Canyon Speed Max.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, that's kind of been the recent addition to
Yeah,
my team, as I call it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Nice, nice bit of kit. Good make. I
yeah,
like the Canyons. A friend of mine's just bought one of the Canyons as well. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but because I haven't seen them up in the flesh, so it'll be interesting to see actually what it's like. And
yeah, no, I do like. I think I was kind of in the market for a kind of a TT bike, and I kind of said the friend that actually got me into multisport said, "Here, look, go see this guy. He can kind of fit you prior to going for a bike." So I kind of went, and I was kind of had earmarked a specific bike that I was looking at, and he just goes, "No," he says, "this bike's really just not going to fit you." He says, "I look," he says, "I'm going to steer you towards this bike. It's totally up to you what you want to do." He says, "But I really fit that, like this bike really will fit you, and you will kind of get the best out of this bike." So I was like, all right, look, I'll have a look at it. I had a look, and then kind of that was it. Then after that,
yeah, and to be fair, Canyons they're reasonable compared to other bikes manufacturers. They're a reasonable competitive price, I think. You know.
yeah, no, they're a competitive price as well. Like, and I think as well, I feel like it's like kind of going into IKEA where you buy a bit of that and you can get a bit of that. You can mix and match. Obviously, I know they kind of have the package together, they're
Mm,
kind of ready to go, but I think you can kind of mix and match as well, and kind of what best suits you as well.
yeah, yeah, cool. And if you're out for a long run or a long ride, do you listen to music?
I do listen to music, and I'm kind of laughing at this because I know this is kind of one of your quick fire kind of questions to the guys, and I think I kind of get awfully criticized for kind of my taste in music, kind of within the group. So I think my kind of would be kind of like that kind of dance, kind of Tomorrowland kind of music, kind of that kind of upbeat kind of music. Even though like I could be on a slow run and still music can kind of be hopping in the ears and the way around, but like
What,
I think that
what's,
kind of
yeah, what's your favorite track?
oh I think at the moment it's got that's kind of has to be AC/DC Thunderstruck.
All right.
I'm just living for that at the moment. Just to hear that in Wales, even I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of have that on
Well,
repeat at the moment.
yeah. Well, that is one that gets you going in it, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
just kind of you can just even feel that kind of heart rate kind of build up again, like ready to kind of you're ready for race time.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And finally, what are your short? Well, we pretty much know what your short-term goals are because that's going to be Wales and Malaga this year. So, what's your longer-term goal that you want to achieve?
I think my long term, I think would be I would like to get a place in Kona.
Right.
I think that's everyone's kind of pinnacle of kind of where they want to be. Um, if not that, definitely I want to be kind of competing at even the 70.3 kind of level, kind of getting to those kind of world championships. I think that's kind of my long term goal. Obviously, we all don't know what's around the corner, but I think they're kind of two major goals I'd love to achieve.
Yeah. Cool. Well, like I said earlier, good luck with it all. I'm sure you're going to smash it. You said you just dipped your toe in this sport, so it's going to be interesting to see, and I hope you have a long journey. So thank you for joining us today, and it's been great to hear your story and meet you. So thank you.
Yeah, no, Rich, really appreciate it. And look, obviously, can't thank you enough for obviously kind of having me on board. And look, love having the chat with you again. And obviously, hopefully, you can jump back on with you and kind of let you know how
Yeah, that'd
Malaga and how Wales went on. And
yeah, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, could do that. That'd be nice.
So good luck to Rob with everything he's got coming up, Wales and then Malaga. Although I do believe it's Torremolinos now. I think it's moved. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, good luck with everything that you've got going on, and it'll be great to follow and watch your progression especially as you're new to the sport, in the next coming months and coming years. So yeah, great to meet you, and good luck with everything. I'm going to finish with some sad news. There was another fatality in our sport at the Nottingham relays at the weekend. Unfortunately, one of our own went in for a swim and never made it back. This happens all too often, I'm afraid. I don't know what the suggestion is or how we can stop it from happening. I don't really know the circumstances other than he had a medical issue. There's not been any other details that have been released as yet, but very, very sad. So our condolences go out to his family, all his friends, and his triathlon club, which I believe was Stockport Triathlon Club. So yeah, very, very sad. And on that, we're going to leave it there. And if you would like to get in touch, please do. You can email us Agegroup Multisport Podcast @gmail.com. You'll find us on Facebook at Agegroup Multisport Podcast or AmpGB. You can find us on Instagram at amp_1967, and we have our own YouTube channel, which is AmpGB. So please do get in touch. We are looking for more guests now to come on and share the story and inspire others, just like Rob's done today. And yeah, keep this thing going. So don't forget, stay safe, keep training, and love the process.